Welcome to another Waaagh Tactics paint stream, 11th edition on the way, boys. Whoa! So today I'm going to be preparing, as you can see on screen, my Def Coptas and a bunch of other models, getting ready for my Cult of Speed. As you can see on screen, I have some epoxy. So if you haven't seen this done before, you can also witness this and have some fun. So I got a little bit of epoxy here on a plate. I'm going to magnetize these guys because I got a fancy new carrying case, and these gits were sliding around. And as you can see, one of them did break off the base. So we're here to fix that. And welcome to everyone who's here. Shout out to the Great Wall. Shout out to my boy Jay Hugh, who's been here literally since the beginning. Whoa, my boy. I remember when we were out here with like 10 or less viewers, and you were always here talking about 18 Def Coptas, and now we actually are running a bunch of Def. I'm not running 18, guys. I'm running 12. 12 on my Cult of Speed. Would I run 18? Possibly, but I don't feel like getting the other 6 prepared. So I'm trying to make it work. I got a lot of buggies. I like my buggies. You know what I'm saying? And remember, you guys, this is community. Everybody's in a chat. The topic generally I want to talk about is just 11th edition Ork model stuff on the way. That's all the hype. While I'm getting this ready, of course, ask me any variety of questions. I don't mind that either. Actually, speaking of, since there's some of my favorite gets already here, whoa, let me show a little clip that I actually seen. Let me see, I pop this up. Boom. So I wanted to show this off. This is the green skin, Team Green Skin. This is from Reddit community and the fantasy / LARPing tab. I'll show it in a second, but let's go through this video real quick. I want to show this off too. And I'll do it once, just full send if you're not looking at the screen, and then the next one will slow it down so we can actually appreciate how these gets are done up. Now, of course, we are some 40K Ork players here, but we can always appreciate a green skin of any kind, right? And here are our brethren in fantasy going off with these awesome. Well, look how many there are. That's actually, I think, what was the most impressive, satisfactory part about it to me. Was I was like, yeah, they got numbers. There's a lot. What's a shark man doing there, dude? Get out of there. But you know that said, oh, they have a weird boy at the end. Let's go. All right, guys. If you're with me, chat, you guys are looking on screen. Let's give these at least a little second more love. I wanted to show through this because when you come across one of these videos, someone shows it to you, like as an individual. I'm sure you Ork players relate to this. You can't really like show this to anyone else and like let them be impressed as well, right? I can't like show this to my girlfriend and be like, oh, hey, baby, check this out. These guys, they look cool, so we're doing it together then, huh? Oh, Jehu's still on screen. Jehu, we got to pull you down real quick, buddy. Right, you guys get it, so check it out. But you guys are doing great. So look at this guy right off the bat. I want to say at the front, shielded up, squig shield, armored up. I'm appreciating this get. I like that. I like that. And he even has like some knuckle dusters for you English folk, right, across his fingers and such. So great job in bearing these in general. They're a little goblin, little rock. Look, very red, very squiggish, very fantasy. Shout out to the other channel members. What's up? Whoa, Straw Hat, Luffy. You guys are probably going on 2,000 episodes at this point, aren't you? Yeah, J Hugh with the gas. Thanks for you guys for using the actual emotes. I love when the members use that stuff. Oh, doing a little dance, and he does a little dance. He's a type of weird boy too. I personally use an Age of Sigmar type of weird boy also. I don't know if you guys do too. He kind of reminds me of that. And then we got a thick boy back there. No shame in that game. I do appreciate his checkered pattern, though. Checkered pattern. Now, I know I'm supposed to be doing the hobbying, but I wanted to show this off anyways. And like I said, what I'm trying to do is actually get these magnets down. So we're going to have not a lot, but we're going to have some intermission anyways when I'm putting these things down and trying to focus. So I'm not opposed if you guys sharing stuff with me, Facebook, Reddit, whatever. I mean, not Reddit. Discord. If you guys want to show me something at me, maybe I can post it up right now while we're all here. So remember, community stream. So let's get stuck in. So I'm starting off. Boom, one magnet. If you guys, like I said, I don't know if people have done this or not. And then if you have, okay, cool. If you haven't, yeah, I remember I was always very hesitant to do this when I first started magnetizing my gits. Right. So very necessary because they're sliding around my trays. First one done. And that's nice. What I learned, guys, if you want to put more than one, here's the thing. When you say that I was to turn this sideways and I put another magnet over here, they would slide. As you can see, he's sliding already. They would slide and then magnetize and converge on each other. All right. So tip for the newer gits. If you're going to do multiple magnets, one at a time, relax. And this is relatively decent at quick trying. So put it aside. Hopefully I can keep an eye so it doesn't slide off the base. Oh, my cat's just staring at me like she's mad. Okay. And I had already done this stem, but I forgot that I did that, so I just knocked it off. All right, cool. Let me move on to another one of my coptas. And ew. See, this is why you guys got to be careful. Look at this. Look at this. Intertwined, dude, from my tray. I'd be careful. Oh, I just dropped it right after I said that. You guys didn't see that. Happy about this stuff, copta, because I actually leave the blade loose. Here are two of my coptas for those who are interested. Oh, sorry. I know that's not framing and probably necessarily exactly how I wanted to. Leave that on screen. I see you guys. Don't worry. I'll respond to chat in a second too. Oh, what did you just say, right? I see someone in chat. What's up, the weird boy? You were out here. I seen that. Wow to you as well. And I hope you're doing well, buddy. Lucas, let's go, Lucas. Someone was saying okay. He said Rogue said that guy was doing the word dance. Oh, I didn't know that was an actual dance. What? That makes so much. Okay. Tell me a little more about it, or I'll look it through. I'll look through it real quick. No, all right, guys, we'll be here for a minute, a while. So, like I said, thick get right here. Appreciate the checker pattern for sure. Another hobgoblin looking boy right there with the shield. Appreciate these suits these gets are all wearing. Like I said, the numbers are what's really impressive to me right now. All right, I'm sure you guys seen enough of my Death Copter. Continue to magnetize. Shout out to Lucas for using all those emojis. Let's go, Lucas, for using the channel member emotes. That's what I like to see, man. You got the Gas, War Boss, Death Dread. Oops, I got too excited to hit myself. All right, let me prepare. The age of the war is over. The time for the war is here. Oh, the age of man is over. The time of the orcs is here. Whoa! Shout out to Arcane Asylum. Always nice to see you, get it, of course. We were just chatting earlier in Discord, so nice to see you for sure. Nice that you stopped by while you guys got time. Let me know what you guys are actually working on too. In this intermission period when orcs are doing horrible, this is like the best time to get stuck in, right? What you don't want to be is that git who's trying to hobby right when Mordaka comes out, and then you can't appreciate it. Now, even if you're not someone who likes to necessarily chase the meta, I'll tell you what, when Mordaka was out, I was running very funny Death Dread heavy Titanic Walker list. Like, we knew it was going to get nerfed anyways, right? So I was like, I'm gonna make a Death Dread not suck, and it was barely playable with broken rules, so that was kind of funny. Not very playable, but you know what I'm saying. Not impressive. Oops, he slid over to the side. Don't let me get epoxy on my own finger. Oh, no, you didn't see that. All right, another one down. Now let me keep showing my gits right here. They're dancing around with the word dances and such. Wizard git, I don't know what those guys are. A little thick samurai. Okay, right here. Yes. The Brute. All right, I like that. I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep him up for a second. Straw Hat, what's up? Okay, we have. Of course, I'm gonna reply to the channel members. When you guys are talking, but honestly, I'll read all your guys generally and such, right? Until I get overwhelmed. So keep it coming. Keep your questions. Don't worry. I'm thinking of a good place to put this. Sorry, I was looking around. All right, cool. Nice. I have a bunch of other stuff to paint too, so even when I'm done with magnetizing, I'll be good. Okay. All right. Question for you. Actually, I put this up. Let me put this up. All right. Question for you, boss. You said you love your buggies. Let's say you got 100 points to spare. What buggy are you putting in based on your favorite abilities? That's actually okay. Since you added the caveat of favorite abilities, right? I think my buggies are right here. But my dev copters are in the way, so we're gonna hold that up. So 100 points is that weird spot because of the buggies cost. You're always gonna have like an offset cost left over. That's gonna be kind of annoying. I guess you could say it's for enhancement. So let's play a world where you can clean it up and upgrade a different unit. So I can pick any buggy variety I want based off just straight preference. It would be pretty easy to say the Mega Track Scrapjet just because of its ability to possibly spike, do mortal wounds, it being at a decent point cost. Very solid for like the kind of blank obvious statement that most people would bring because I don't have a detachment in this. If you're saying it's on my cult of speed, then I would have to know what else is on the cult of speed. So we're just saying, let's say I bring a buggy because I want to, because I love it, because that can happen. But what I actually ended up doing in reality, guys, because remember, sometimes we have our preference based off theory. But what I actually ended up playing with was, and this was because me and Mork Perry, shout out to Mork Perry, were chatting, and this was before Orks went straight 100% and were really trash, like in the position they're at now. And before like the night meta came out and everything. But it was right when Death Guard came out. And the buggy I was actually using in my Dread Mob list was the Rocket Truck Squid buggy, and that's 95 points. That's because I knew I had mechs on the list, and I was willing to utilize actually a couple mechs for them the early game. And it ended up making a big difference in the World Eaters and Death Guard matches up that I went into that Saturday. That's that game day. So both games I did win. It was still difficult because they were still strong armies and such, and I had other assets. It wasn't like the buggies hard carried, but they did participate, right? So with the World Eaters matchup, I was able to kill their infiltration unit, that little 8-man. I forgot what they're called right now. But they're a little annoying because they have I believe they can like reactive move. They can fight relatively good with the World Eater buffs. So they'll trade with you and they'll kind of move block the initial move if you want to get the initiative on them on World Eaters, at least with this player I was playing with. And this guy's good. Shout out to Christian. He actually got second place at the GT with his World Eaters recently. So I was able to just pick up those guys with, and with minimum effort. And then he had less assets to clear my grots that were of less value. So funny enough, I actually made some Rocket Truck Squig buggies on my list work in Dread Mob. But that was prior to all the Death Guard stuff. And then the Death Guard matchup, when they were running that individual character in the backfield, typically the Tally Man, well, the Rocket Truck Squig buggy, at one point I could kill him, so I killed him late game. And it gave me ability to slow the Death Shroud that were on the field. And then at one point I ran them up the field because you don't want to just keep them all screened like in the backfield doing nothing for that many points necessarily. So I ran up and got them involved with some Plague Marines and the Rhino because their ability to throw mortal wounds. So if there's possibly a mech on your list for some reason, the Rocket Truck Squig buggies end up outshining the Scrap Chat based off like the whatever else is on your list. I'm not really sure. And in like a very well-rounded statement, like question answer, the Megatrack Scrap Chat would be better. Now there are a little bit I could, if you want, make arguments for the rest of the buggies. But I just kind of like really, I think I kind of like drew out that question a little bit of a bit. So let me know a little bit more context. I think I spilled a little bit of something over here. Let me clean this up for a moment. But it's going well, right? It's going so well that my epoxy is starting to dry on that plate. Luckily, I have a lot more. Alcohol's over here. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I'll get back to you, Arcane. Don't worry about that. Let me answer some other awesome gifts that are out here. And shout out to Rogue for saying that was the word dance. Oh. So he said, we got someone. Thoughts on Def Coptas? Haven't run them before, and I'm playing this weekend. And I wanted to try them out. 6 bricks or 2 sets of 3. Unsure of my detachment. Without the detachment, I have to say, just simply bring like a 3-man to feel them out until you get used to them. Their profile's so whiffy. And the more I play with them, there's times where I just spike and just annihilate people because they're twin linked. And then there's times where I get like 1 hit, right? So also their mortal wound ability is only on a normal move. So you can't advance and do it. So a lot of the time I find myself advancing. So sometimes I'd even not get that flyover ability off. So you're not like going to try to do that with your whole unit necessarily all the time. Which we would want to, but you're not going to be able to is what I meant. So I'd say try out like a 3-man and see what you like. I think when you start just putting too many points into them, it's kind of just like a big unit that doesn't necessarily do a good role at anything. And in Cult of Speed, you can get sustain, or you can get lethal, reactive, 4-up invuln. So that's why the 6-up brick comes into play. Other than that, I don't think I can like recommend unless you were really trying to fill out points and you didn't own anything else. Oh shoot. Sorry, guys, while I grab some more of these. Let me check out this video one more time real quick. I'm just going to move through it. Another thick orc with a power punch. I don't know what that is. What are you doing, bro? What is that? What was that? Was that the swamp monster chilling with the greenskins? I mean, he was green, so I guess it works out. But yeah, I was like, I think that was a swamp monster, guys. This dude has a great face with a funny ponytail. Now, in reality, guys, you have to be an orc to get away with this hairstyle, right? Like, can we just be straight up about this? right? I don't know if too many guys are getting away with like completely shaved and then just a thing coming out. Now there are guys. I'm not Goro from Mortal Kombat can get away with that, right? So I'm not saying no one can get away with it. I'm just saying it's questionable. But but Orks can do it, so that's what's up. So I'm sorry to get off the topic of Orks. I mean 40K, whatever. Let's see. So what's up, Eric? So he says, why do you think Orks are so? Sorry. Why do you think Orks are so often ranked low in faction tier lists? I don't think too many people like necessarily know. Well, I guess that's too vague, right? Because I'm gonna assume these are like the high end tier list players, so I have to kind of get the context correct in my mind on who's talking. Generally, I would say the randomness from Orks at the top level gameplays a lot of the time makes them not that appealing because you can't get like a reliable game plan, like a reliable output from your army with the game plan sometimes because you get as many reshared rerolls and stuff like that and awesome rules, but at the same time it's kind of like the faction is a little niche to actually get good at and play with, because if there is one faction tier list, and time that I agree with these gets was the Art of War. Shout out to Art of War, I love those guys, and Michael Mann, but they did their like faction skill to play tier list. Pretty much like the hardest factions to play in 40K based, like what are the hard factions to play in 40K based off like the faction's difficulty itself for like the player curve of the pilot and such. And in that one, I believe Orks ended up in the highest bracket from what I remember. And that's something I fully agree with, that Orks are also hard to actually execute correctly. There's a lot of times that people tell me about their game, that they'll tell me, that I've never played an Ork player that was necessarily trying to win, even sometimes people will say. So everyone's anecdotal experience and the casual level sometimes will even reflect the fact that the top end players won't reliably utilize this faction of Orks if they're trying to get a reliable outcome. Now, guys like Michael Mann, shout out to Michael Mann, he does it, but he is the Ork guy, as he even said the other day on stream, and I shout out to him because I agree. Mork Perry, for example, another high level guy, but for the most part, it would be the randomness from Orks make their ability to execute reliable game plans sometimes a bit whiffy. And sometimes they end up adopting like a similar battle plan or army function as another faction, and then they do it just a little bit more reliably or a little bit more easier to pilot. Like, I don't mean easier to pilot because it's like an easy to play like faction and the rule set wise, like synergy and game plan. I mean easy to play as in less model count. So it's easier on your clock and the amount of time you have to spend in playing it. You'll see a lot of the time high level players will bring like gunline army vehicle heavy armies. It's not that I don't think those people can stomp us without it. It's a lot of the time that they have to keep executing the same game plan for sometimes 8, 9 rounds, 7 rounds of game. Game rounds, right? So also just like the amount of effort Orks take to be good at the high end level sometimes isn't worth the payout, right? Isn't worth the payout. And then, like I said, like shout out to Happy Crumper, he's awesome, right? And he can fluctuate between factions, and sometimes he knows when Orks are just a little less reliable than the other faction he would lean back onto that are a melee-oriented army, even though he knows Orks have a somewhat different game plan and how they actually win the game, and he still likes Orks, right? So it's like, and he's one of the few people that can flux into Orks at the high level and still get results. So shout out to Happy Crumper for that, right? Shout out to you for that question, because I think it's a mixture of everything. So about like someone's anecdote, the high-end players' reliability of playing them kind of ends up reflecting that. But that doesn't mean we don't have the potency to keep up with them and actually win those games. Because when you do run into one of those high-end Ork players, they can almost overcome anybody. And that's why Orks are awesome. So shout out to that. And remember, in the far, grimdark future, where there is only war, Orks are the only ones having fun. I would say they're the only Orks, right? But we're not the only ones. So hold on, let me put this away again real quick. I see another interesting. What's up, Brett? Oh, Brett, no, you have it wrong. All wrong, sir. This is called the hype. All right. He said Orks are so bad we have to talk about 11th. I was feeling the same way, right? And then I just realized, well, everyone's already getting hyped for 11th just based off, you know, the fact that we know we're the main enemy faction army for the most part, pretty renownedly understood and accepted that we're going to be the main bads. The fact that a lot of people that aren't even going to be the main bads or main goods are already talking about them on their own channels and such. So it's not even about Orks just being bad. It's just the nature of 40K where you're looking forward to things which is to come. You know, it's the high just like randomness that is the 40K universe lore wise, how anything can happen, the fantasy aspect of it. Of course, is a part of like all of our mindsets as people who also play the game to a certain degree, some more than others. As like we like to have that, you know, fantasy inspiration, think about stuff, future hope. Even if it's grimdark, and such, you're gonna thinking about it. I'm just saying you're looking forward to looking towards that grimdark. So it's like that's just kind of the nature of us as hobbyists, right? So just look towards what is to come and how much we can enjoy it. Like look at these dudes LARPing. Now that's the category. Keep in mind, on Reddit, they're LARPing in the category. These guys having a good grand old time. Look at that. Dang, I like this one. All right. Front, these guys are all doing excellent. You can see my you can see my arrow. Front two on our if you're looking at the screen, our right, top right with the helmet with the skull. Awesome. I love the skull. I think like he added that later. But dude, right in the middle, that's what's up. Let's see if we get a little closer. That's the kind of outfit I want to do. Where can I get one of those? I want one of those, dude. You guys gonna come to see me one day at an event? I'm like, what's going on with this dude? So maybe me under there. Sorry guys, I'm pulled it off screen when I'm doing this. Yes, I'm using a spoon. I felt like a spoon was fine. I was also going to use a coffee stick, but I forgot to bring one. So now we're using a spoon. Fantastic. I wonder if it'll take more than one of these magnets, but like I said, guys, stick to one at a time. Let it dry, because otherwise they'll hit each other. What's else going on here with chat? To you guys, I have to make sure I get actually the things done though. Make sure I have to work on this. He said, let's see, in my mind, I'm trying to swap off. In my mind, I was working off to try out swapping a second Stormboy unit for trying out some buggy. I'm kind of on the boat that you just need one Stormboy unit at the time right now. Some more of the secondary missions are kind of centralized to the game, and so a lot of stuff's happening in the middle. Kind of more towards one right now. So if you were going to substitute one for that like point cost, then it would be the Megatrack Scrapjet. The Shock Jump Dragsta has had a little utility to me in Dreadmob as well, not like any other detachment. Dreadmob was only because I had other big stuff on the field, and sometimes he would just ignore the Scrapjet, and then I could do like cool move blocks or kind of tag units and hold them down. Sometimes he just got annihilated. Sometimes he didn't have great spots to use. Not saying he's awesome as well, but if I have to advocate for another one to like a similar cost to Stormboy, that one. And then not the custom booster Blasta. I'm having a brain fart. The one with 30 built-in sustained. I'm having a brain fart, guys, with -1 to hit aura. That's also very good. He's only 70 points. That one I think is pretty solid as well. I'm having a brain fart. It's not Rocket Truck Squeak Buggy. I got that one. I always mess this one up. Guys, let me know in chat which buggy I'm messing off the top of my head. I'm not, or should I take out my phone? Take out my phone. Huh? Should I cheat? Should I cheat, chat? I'm cheating. I don't know how I forgot this buggy's name. You know, work stuff. Because we haven't used that. I think that's the only buggy I actually don't own too. That's of course we're gonna be biased, right? Though I'm like, you know what, that buggy just doesn't exist because I don't own it yet. Boomdaka Snazwagon. How can I forget that? That's such a dope name. But I don't own a Boomdaka Snazwagon right now. And the Boomdaka Snazwagon will be another good option in my opinion. Because it looks like you're playing like a melee-oriented army, maybe. Let me know though, Arcanes. All right, guys. See, I gotta get through these. I'm looking through the chat, and my epoxy's going dry. Let me know. You guys, let me know what you're painting right now or working on. Working on painting, building, hobbying, at work. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. And as for 11th edition, the question, you know, I mean, rules come and go anyways, whatever. I want to know what model or like box set could we possibly be getting as the main bads? because there's a lot of stuff on Forge World that is just really orky that they got rid of, right? So it's like, what are they gonna do? I mean, I want the Grot tanks back. The Squigoths are gone. Grot tanks are gone. Grot, the actual Grot tank. I'm having the little. It looks like a battleship. No one actually ever used it. Grot super tank or something like that. I don't own one, but like I remember I was looking forward to it in Dreadmob, and they're just like, nope, can't run any of those. So I was like, man. So we got a bunch of the kill tanks, right? So there's like all this the mech dread, right? Not the death dread, not the mech dread. If in case you didn't hear about that, he was like the in between of a death dread and a Gorkanaut. He was like an in between, kind of like a Primaris Redemptor maybe or something. So I appreciated that gift, and I had gotten one, was ready to go, and they ruined it. And I had no reason to use him, and that was disappointing because I was like, maybe I can make the. Now he wasn't good. Don't get me wrong. You can go look up his data sheet. Guys gonna be like, what Legends? He's probably there. Yeah, he's not that good. I just felt like using him because he looks cool, and you guys know I have a little bit of a preference to walkers, right? And like I've said before, the other editions people were using Goth style rules, sustained style rules. Now there were moments of course, the freeboot into Orks, and there was of course moments of the Death Skulls and almost dropped this. I guess the rigs and the pigs. Okay, when they came out, they were really all over the meta as well. But I always wanted to just have a lot of mechs, and mechs were never really that good. So, well, I'm sorry, I can't. I had your thing on screen. It wasn't even relative right there. Let me check out these gets a little longer so you can leave that. What's going on here? Right here, boom, awesome, love it. I don't know what Orks carry as shield though, but I guess in this universe that'd probably be normal. A short, okay, a pike, and I don't know what this guy's doing. He just snuck in there. Oh yes, this is what I wanted to show off. Let's go. This dude's ready. What is this? A shaman? A shaman orc? Someone who knows about fantasy, let me know. Shaman orc in there? Oh, sorry, guys, I got distracted again. All right, my epoxy's gonna dry. Was that it? Did I get all the buggies that I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's one. So you guys. He said, yeah, I'm playing pretty much Warhorde. Yeah. Kind of seemed like it based off what you guys said. The Weird Boy says the answer is James Workshop. No, the answer is easy. James Workshop can't write our rules. And we barely understand them. Oh, we as a lot barely understand them, right, boss? Yeah, exactly. GW doesn't seem to necessarily understand Orks. But it was funny. Something was being brought up in Discord earlier. People were bringing up other factions that seem to have like a lack of identity. It could be that we're also, right? And of course, we like to make things about us. I don't mind that. Right? It's like, yeah. Everybody has that bias. Like I do. Of course, I mind it. I mean, like in the sense of bias. Like, we all know we have a bias, right? So we're all looking at it as Orks. Like maybe GW hates us and such. And I think maybe it could be that GW is kind of just like not doing a good job focusing on all the new content, the new stuff they're working on with the factions, and it could be that the rules are kind of suffering for that. In like the in that way that maybe they're copy pasting them or getting a little sloppy with them. We know different, teams and people write these books, but nonetheless, I think we always make it about us. Seems like GW overall is just messing up a little bit too. But I still think they don't understand Orks right now, right? I think they do the books. The lore books are quite good, right? Now, I'm definitely not going to argue about that. And Lovetron, yes, 95 points is criminals, and I think it's still very expensive. But he said I had 100, so I was bringing it up to 100 with the question. And I gave context for the other buggies. But like I said, I did have, a weekend where I was running a little longer than a weekend, but relatively a run for a weekend and such where I was running the indirect buggies and death treads. And then the knights got their buffs. And then I was like, okay, never mind. No more of this. No more of this. So, yeah. Shout out. Whoa! Yeah, see you guys. Custom mech job, many teeth for that outfit. Yeah, for sure. You're right. Let me see, guys. Let's see. I don't want to not do my buggies. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, cool. Yeah. The reason I went 11 over my shoulder is because I have that metal Def Copta, and that's the only one that's not done completely yet. So he's not on this buffet table. All right. Well, let's see what else. I was going to magnetize some of my ugly little tank busters because I realized they weren't either. Let me get my little ugly little tank busters over here. And I say ugly because I'm not a great hobbyist. You get, right? But I did what I could. I don't know if you guys can see what's here. I'm trying to show it. You guys let me know what you're doing. Like I said, if you guys are in Discord right now, I got my Discord open as well. So if you got Discord open, at me, you want to show me something, I might show it off. All right. Not necessarily everything, don't worry, but I'm messing this up. I think my finger's giving it the shadow. Camera, come on, camera. I think because I deflected the light. All right. And that's all kind of getting right now for now. A little bit of my get, still working on them a little bit, but they're ready enough to be using. That's also the reason, like I said, when someone asked why orcs aren't used highly rated, I think also the best players generally just don't feel like committing to them for that reason as well. You got to hobby them up, and there's a lot of them. You got to hobby them up, and there's a lot of them. Uh-oh, I might have taken too long, and the epoxy is drying on me again. This time was a little bit more. All right, I'll soup it up a little faster. Let's see what you guys are saying right here. Before I put some more, I'm gonna see what the chat's saying as well. Where's my epoxy? Since I messed it up already. All right, chat said, I think we are definitely getting new mega knobs. All right. Yes, that's a hot take. No, I guess maybe not a hot take. Whatever you guys want to say. I think we definitely need that. I know it's not a lot of people seen the old videos, but we did have a time where we were talking about the models, orc models, and the Mega Knob. As much as I like using it, and I like the Bully Boys, I absolutely hate how these lunchbox boys be looking. All right, so I'm really looking forward to GW doing. Doesn't mean I don't think people make cool kits out of them, can't utilize them. Of course I did. I have to do. We like our kits, but our Mega Knobs, but I would very much appreciate a cooler Mega Knob kit, to be fair. And really, there's a whole bunch of models we could go over that they could end up being swapped out here. But as my hands are a little both busy, but in a second, a little later down the stream, maybe what time we're good. Okay, maybe a little down the stream, I'll bust out what I really think about all the models. But I want to let the chat get going in there first, because if I start spouting them out, I don't let you get to come up with any good ideas. But I will say Mega Knobs, right off the bat, since you kicked it off, Lovetron, absolutely. We need new Mega Knob kits. They need to look big and beefy, right? They got to look thick, that they can take damage. I'd really like for their profiles to also be somewhat representative of that, but I guess if you pay for both, right? So this is what I kind of understand too. If you end up paying for, you end up having both traits of being durable and killy, then at that point you have to be costed that way, right? So I don't know if orcs necessarily want a truly elite unit. But if they were 3 damage, then I mean I think for 2 attacks though, like base profile, that's probably fair still. And I'm not like I'm asking for us to get suddenly a built-in invuln or something. There's times that AP still matters. So nonetheless, I don't think it's too much to ask, is what I'm saying, for 3 damage. So like I'm saying, we can't go overboard either and assume that we're going to get all those rules and then suddenly we're paying for a truly elite unit, and then we're like, oh, dang, we did it to ourselves a little bit. But yeah, new Mega Knobs, new Big Mech and custom force field. Of course, we already got a Big Mech and Mega Armor. The War Boss and Mega Armor is already up. What other kind of Mega Armor things can we do, though? I feel like that should be the next question, right? We have Uftak as Big Mech in general, but he's actually a War Boss, so it's like he has like a Big Mech kind of initial thoughts on that you might think he's going to be, but ultimately he's more of a War Boss. But you can see how big he is the point I'm trying to make. So how big would a Mega Knob be, right? I mean, Uftak's extra big, but that means they have to be at least on they might end up getting a really big base too. Who knows, right? Well, I guess the War Boss and Mega Armor has that base, but hey, GW's been changing base sizes too, so you never know. Can't take them too lightly, though. I would be more likely to believe it's somewhere near what the War Boss and Mega Armor that we currently have already is, right? So 3 damage though, but that's 3 damage if there's still 2 attacks. If they end up going up in attacks, I'm not sure if you want to pay also still have 3 damage because then you might be paying for 3 damage unit cost. So GW has to make our Mega Knobs. Like I said, guys, me personally, I like a little bit more kind of trash kind of list where there's a lot of cheaper stuff on my list, not really going too heavy elite. That's why Cult of Speed's kind of appealing to me in that way, where everything's kind of disposable. The most expensive thing will be like the Def Coptas. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, whatever. So that's not. I mean, there's still points you don't want to lose, but it's not like other detachments and combinations. So I like to play more of having a lot of chaff, a lot of units, a lot of activations. So that's more my style, or hoard it out. And then, of course, anybody can appreciate a good Waaagh. Everybody knows having some kind of walkers or Big Macs or having a good time. I don't think anybody added me. Let's see. Okay. If we're the bad guys in 11th edition box, what units would be in the box? That is what I'm posing right now to chat. But if I'm going to do it off the top of my head, dang, America, you always got something hot in the same, America. Always. All right, but I can't respond to that yet. But for the 11th box, what would it really be? So Mega Knobs. Let's start off. Let's just say Mega Knobs. Boom. What else would be in the starting kit? Would Uftak be in the starting kit? No, he's a Legends. They never release him to the main game for the most part. They always leave him there. That's just my hope and aspirations, right? So I shouldn't be getting you guys hyped about that because for the most part, GW is pretty consistently lame with that. Do I need this big of a magnet? I don't think so. That's pretty massive. I should have downsized it, but I already placed it, so this gets going to have it. See, on this guy, would have been fine, but yeah. Oops. So let me put him to the side. Sorry, yeah, you have a big old magnet, dude. He gets attached onto it, but I did not want him to. Oops. You guys see this on screen? These are called Waaagh tactic blunders. Let's get it. There's just some little clip I have over here. All right, cool. Nice. So we're 11th box. Let's see, Mega Knobs. Am I gonna just start naming units I like? Grot tanks. Grot mega tank, kill tank. So now let me think. Really, what is the theme they're pushing? Right? Are we back in the Octaria sector? Are we fighting Tyranids again? No, we're gonna be facing Space Marines. So lore-wise, where is the next Space Marine front, or where is the Space Marine front in general? What's gonna cause us to come face to face with these poster boys? Right, that we know are going to be face to face with. Now, I'm not sure lore wise if anybody really seen Octarius coming. That required, that required this release for Tyranids. Well, I got to grab different magnets. All right, got some right here. So I'm not sure lore wise, like the perfect answer. I would love to know all that stuff because I do try to keep up with some of the lore, but I can't keep up with all of it or catch up like that. Okay, that's a better magnet size, right? The other one was pretty crazy. Yeah. All right. I kind of feel like they would push the new boy models because I have a sneaking suspicion that GW might, not sure, not posing, but I'm just paying attention to pattern recognition a little bit, right? Is GW going to force us as Ork players to use the new boy kit's profile as their added data sheet? Now, I would hope not. I would hope that they don't take choices away from us. So I really want them not to do it. But with that being said, it's a newer model kit. It's a battle line unit. They pushed Snagas already a lot this edition. They were I know we had a Battle Force unit of boys, but this is a Star Collecting box. You're not going to put, it's like not putting some kind of Hormagaunt or Termagant or something in some kind of starter box. So you're going to put boys for the most part. That's not enough epoxy in my opinion. I think I had already run out and I was still I was just picking up the leftover drive one. Oops. All right, cool. I'm going to switch spots on this whole thing. All right, let's see. What would be another one? Lovetron said Grassapas. Is Grassapas what you're saying is what was on screen? Is that a weird boy shaman? Yeah, I think so. Chat, what do you guys think? I'm gonna read chat, see if chat has anything extra to. I think they're gonna push boys. I think they're gonna push Mega Knobs and then UKIT. What else could they push that's interesting? Man, that's kind of what I was kind of hoping to like talk about and I'm thinking about. Give me more time to ponder this, you get. You would think I've already thought about it beforehand, but I kind of wanted this to unfold on stream. Do we know what poster boy that they're going to be fighting? Did anybody like discover that? Which Space Marine version are we going to be fighting? Like, is it going to be Space Wolves again, or does anybody know? I don't think it's gonna. Is it going to be Ultras? I don't think so. Not going to be Smurfs. Using less resin this time, guys, because it keeps drying. All right, just let me know, chat. Chat, you guys let me know. Is there do we know what the poster boys are? Because I feel like I can maybe have a little bit more, right? Like if you're fighting Tyranids, you might have guessed version of Flamer guys, right? Burner boys, right? Some kind of version of Burner boys. So, you know, I think if I know what faction we're up, which version of power armor of Beaky we're up against, maybe I can do a slightly better guess. Now, I might get told this right now in the next 5 seconds and still not have a good answer, but we are building blocks today. So, we're boy shaman. I'm gonna post the repulsor in the Discord. Yeah, in the as long as it's the non-Orky Discord, go ahead. Yeah, that's no problem. I have other armies as well. If the man is teleporting, I'm losing my. If Uftek, let's see. I want to see looted vehicles allowed. Always, Gustav. Let's go. Don't worry, Jay. We'll get back to your question because that question is going to unfold on stream. That's kind of like the point of the stream too, a little bit, right? Like, let's talk about 11th edition. Who are we fighting? Where is it going to be? Even the lore, guys. I know you guys think this is just a strictly competitive channel. No, that was never the intention for the channel. That's not what the channel is only. I listen to the lore books, and I have some of the books, and I actually like it for the most part. Probably more than a lot of people I play. Not all. I know a lot. Some of my friends are really good hobbyists as well, or like really into the lore as well. But enough that for the most part, I know what's up with the orcs, what they're trying to do. So for looted vehicles, though, it would be cool if they if they gave us some kind of looted vehicle, but then they have to give us the dimensions and not going to give us a kit. So would it be a kit that had bits of other stuff and then you can like put it together? But Orc players might not like that and they might kind of push that. But yeah, I don't think GW will ever give us looted vehicles a lot anymore, ever again, to be honest. But that doesn't mean they're not going to give us something like a Grot tank or a kill tank, Grot mega tank. And then or a kill tank, and then from there we can just kit bash something similar, right? So that's the reason GW won't make the looted kit, because ultimately orcs can kind of already loot themselves already, like make looted kits themselves. That's one of our powers and benefits as a faction, right? Any box is an orc box, right? Any release is an orc release. That's always one of the jokes. But then the longer you get into the hobby and the more you see kind of pictures and stuff unfold, you're like, yeah, that's actually true. It is true. All right, I'll end this video because I had it on for a hot minute. Hi, shout out bye-bye to you, Gits. Let me get this off. Oh, let me see if I can make this so it's not my big head anymore. Only my big head. There we go. Bam. That was the plan. All right. And you're like, no, I don't look like such a... You know, I never really thought of my hobby setup, like if it was official or would look good on stream back in the day, because I was just doing it just to do it. And I'm like, hey, is this embarrassing? I'm like, oops, sorry, guys. I don't have a super nice presentation right now. Maybe I'll get one of those mats with the little lines, the little grid coordinates to cut stuff. That's this. What's in my hand? I guess rubbing alcohol in my hand. All right, let's see what else. I got a bunch of Meganom magnetizing down. What else are you gets doing? Not Meganom, sorry, tank busters. Doing all these tank busters. They were sliding around my trays, dude. Before I had one of those easy carry boxes, so it was a little nicer like that, and I wore like foam kits. But now I have one of those straight up. If you guys got as well, the little shelves, you know, one of the new ones. Barely just got it. And yeah, you're right. We do like smoke keyword. I want to see a better truck model. It gave me a Heldic building one today. I think that's kind of a little bit one of our older kits as well. Let me look this real quick, guys. I had taken a note on this. How old? I had seen this was our gets. Oop, that's not the right one. Let me pull it up, guys. So it seems like, and this is from the chat. Shout out to my boy Tiger Melts was telling me. He was kind of letting everybody know a little bit. So some of the older stuff we see would probably be the Mega Knobs. Flash goods are actually from 2014, but actually it's pretty nice. Some of those models still kind of hold weight. Do we want a different Pain Boy? Why do I feel like I want a different Pain Boy model? Am I weird for that? I don't think I'm weird for that. A different truck would be cool, but would they make their profiles bigger? Like, would that end up being like a bad thing for us? Not sure. Not sure. And tell me, we do take into consideration, right? When it's one of like our utilized key units to a certain degree, you're like, ooh, are you gonna have to just make that thing huge and hard to stage up? Let me get some more gets here. All right, because the Z-Packs are going. Yeah, last time it got dry earlier, guys, right? Earlier on the stream. I'm trying to get all these tank busters going and those dev copters going at the very least. Like, all these guys need to get their magnets up. I'm painting Grey Knights. All right, shout out to you, Lovetron. How do you feel about those Grey Knights? Huh? How do I feel about the Grey Knights as well? Something I want to see. Of course, they're really killy. Really killy seems to be the new kind of feature of them. I haven't got to play them, unfortunately. No one's really playing them like that around here at the moment. Really killy. I feel like I had, or it depends on the time of the meta. But there was that time when they would do 6 inches uppy down where we kind of had a harder matchup into them for some time, if they didn't mess up. When they had like Mist of Deimos and stuff. But the ability to just, depend. From what I hear, they can murder a multitude of good units and effectively. But one of the big benefits to Orks against Grey Knights is about activations we get that they run out and they're kind of still fragile because they're still Space Marine bodies, just with 2 up armor saves. Not everyone's got Armor of Contempting. And some stuff just kind of really wrecks them, like the tank busters would really wreck them. So I think in our current state, I don't think they're too worried about it. That's why I don't think there's too many Grey Knights popping out yet. I think that's not going to change or something. Let's say the rumor of point leaks, right? Because I'll entertain the rumors just a little bit on point leaks because I'm not sold on all of them. I think some of them may be a little bit incorrect, but let's just say the point leaks, right? That the squigs were coming down, and the squig bosses, were coming down, and the Mega Knobs. It's like, well, then maybe Orc players will go a little bit more elite if they can pull off more squig hog boys and Mega Knobs. In that case, maybe. But the majority of Orc players are not going to be playing those kind of very highly elite armies. But it does kind of, again, put Dread Mob kind of back another rung with how many armies are just able to kind of chew through all our stuff and the meta being tuned for it. So even though I love Dread Mob, as you guys know, as you guys know, I'm a Dread Mob fan. Still, it's like, let me show this on screen to some of you newer gifts, right? So this is what happens when you play from an older edition. If you look on screen. So this is a Runt Herder. Back in the day when the Runt Herder was optional because he was kind of like a utility character when I got him. As you can see, I've been working on him. That base is all ugly. But when he was a utility model and I was low on boy bodies and orc bodies, I ended up sticking bits onto him and I made him into a rocket boy. So my Runt Herder is now a rocket boy and he's a part of the Tank Buster squad. But that means I had to recruit other boy guys this edition to make them Runt Herders. So shout out to this kid and his magnetized magnet. Oops, hopefully that was dry. I flipped him over without even considering that. So yeah, that was cool. On my gifts, and then I have the old resin ones right here, right? So we know this is, for example, this would be an example for like the Weird Boy, right? Weird Boy was, oh my gosh, the boy's ugly. A resin model, and these tank busters used to be resin models, like the ones I'm having right now. GW came out with new kits, and then back in the day, Orc Command, not even back in the day, last edition, Orc Commandos were a upgrade sprue, not a kit. right? For anybody that's not familiar with that. So what's something? I mean, we don't have upgrade screws anymore. What's another role that may be filled that we're lacking? Like I'd like personally, not sure what role they would fill though. I personally like a little what do they call it? Like a little like a swarm of squigs. I think squigs would be cooler in the 40K universe. I don't think we have enough squigs at all. Maybe like some kind of beast squig. I would really appreciate something maybe equivalent to like a chaos spawn type of thing, or like a beast of Nurgle, but as a squig, where you could just run kind of like a little beast squig around. I don't even want it necessarily to be a monster. Kind of just want some like beast keywords, right? Because squigs feel a little more like beasts to me when they're smaller. And then as they really grow up to be like a Grantian Squigoth, for example, okay, then they're a monster in that case. But like if your squig mount was just on its own and didn't have a knob on top of it, that wouldn't be a monster, right? That would be a beast. So I feel like some kind of beast would be awesome. Squig beasts. Don't know what motivation GW would have for that. If anything, it might take away from the appeal from their Age of Sigmar or something, and maybe they just feel like that's why they don't want to do it, because Orc players are just going to convert all their Age of Sigmar stuff and that they have or something. But I would like to see. I've always been kind of in favor of that as well. Like, let's see some more squigs, not necessarily just like pig style. I mean like beasts, herds, whatever it is. Like just a variety of more squig stuff. I'd absolutely love to see. Sorry, first I'm reading the chats from the members, and then I can go back if we got the time for the other chats. I've been pontificating too long. Oops, I need to keep going. Let's see. Oh, let's see what else I'm missing here. Yeah, guys, gotta make sure I keep magnetizing though. Don't want to get lost in the sauce. I don't need to magnetize this gear, right? I mean, he's a huge base, right? Why would I magnetize him? Maybe he would push. He slides a little bit. I'll just magnetize him anyways. I'll magnetize him anyways. We're already here, right, Gits? Let's just do it. Just one for the buggy. I take up a lot of space though. When I put him to the side, I'm making a spot for him, guys. Pretty much. I mean, pretty much. Let me put it. I mean, pretty much any of the old style bodies got them dump truck booties and will likely eventually get new kits. Knobs, looters, burners, etc. Yeah, absolutely. But how soon? I feel like knobs kind of still hold their weight, but I'd like new knobs too. That's another good one. I think knobs are too small. Knobs are too small. Don't necessarily stand out as a knob unit to the enemy. I mean, they're on the same size base currently. So would it be like some iteration of Bully Boys as a box set where it's mega knobs and knobs, and then they give you like a gas, or they give you a new Big Mac with custom force field? I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all. And then they throw some boys in there, or maybe even some grots, for example. Now, why did I put one magnet on this? Because I think it does slide a little bit, and then it can push some of the other little infantry that I put around them around. So we're going to let it be. I'm going to put him on there. Now, he does not have a good spot to sit, but that'll be okay. I'll find it. Boom. That was decent. Pretty much old style body. Oh, someone said something I like to see. Did someone say, oh, America always with that heat. Thank you, Arcane. You're right as well. But America, like I said, with that heat, like always, shout out to America. Titus came out of Legends. That is a good point. That's why we do this live, right? Titus did actually make it out of Legends. So then you brought back that hope. Why are you bringing that hope? Huh? I like that. I have all this other stuff I got to do too. So then I got these Breaker Boys. Oh, these aren't the done Breaker Boys. Oops. Oh well, they're getting magnetized now. So the Titus did come out. That was a video game. So that was a video game character. So I mean, he is very, very unique situation, as in like who Titus is. in the 40K universe, because I mean, I don't even know if there's a book about him. Like, is there a book that came out about Titus initially before the first game? Like, was he already an existing character that they buffed? I don't think he was. I think he was like a made-up game character, and then they introduced him. So he could just be like a very unique case. But that's a good point. Not dismissing your point at all. I'm just saying it's a little bit different from that reason. But I like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate because you know that I want it to be him, right? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Bring him out of Legends. War Boss, Big Mac keyword, but shout out to that. He said, new boys. Well, we have the newer boys kit, the current boys kit that exists right now. I call that a new boys kit because it's a new boys kit. So I'm not saying we're going to get a new boys kit. I'm just saying that we have. So these are my models that need to get worked on. I have a cookie tray right here. Now they're all at different levels. We got, oh, here they are. Now I still have a man. These are different Mandos, guys, as you can see. I'll put it on screen. My personal little commandos that need to get magnetized. Excuse me. And I have like, come on. I bought several of the Mando kits, and I already had like my own Mandos that I had kit bashed from Tempestus Scions, for example. So actually, I don't have those with me right now, but yeah. So those guys. Oh, shout out to this kit, right? This was a special edition Ork model. I'll show that off a little bit. But yeah, those guys, the ones I put together that I like kit bash my commandos. So sometimes I throw them into my unit because I still wanted to make the special war gear guys, even though they come in kill team, because you never know when the war gear would be useful in another edition, and because I personally thought it looked cool. So I got the shooters, I got the snipers, I got pretty much all the special weapon war gear that comes, that can come with the commandos. I built it. And then I just use my own kit bash commandos to kind of fill the gaps. Sorry, guys, I'm checking for which of these guys are actually magnetized, so I don't have to do it all over again. Look at this ugly solid black leech. This, guys, you guys want to talk about your own painting? This is what I painted like my second day of playing 40K. Right? Like when I finally understood the rules and such, and then I got a war boss. Because initially, it was just like Gaz and boys, and then it was war boss that I eventually got, he was given to me too. Look at that, dude. That was my top level painting skill. Pretty similar to now, right? No, I'm just kidding. But I remember I was like, hey, I was just happy to have him painted because he was so dumb. And he didn't have the again, like we were talking about the runt herder. He didn't have attack squig, so I put a little runt herder squig on him. So I know he looks horrible in the grand scheme of things, but I didn't change him just because. Maybe I'll make him purple soon. But I'm going to magnetize him because I did take him to green with my green tide list. So I need to do that. I have all these snagger boys I can magnetize as well. Just making sure I didn't miss any of my Mandos on this tray for the most part. So Spanners, I got my Spanner boys, all those guys. All right, cool. Oh, I got like 20, 31 bottles right here. Like, man, once I got this going, I got to get my epoxy going. Oh, I heard to do this. All right. What else is Chap saying? Better voice gets more mega knobs, Big Mac as a result, War Boss, maybe knobs. Ooh, all those are actually really good options. Shout out to Jank, channel moderator. Love this guy. But those are all really good choices. But that's why I want to know. Do we know, right, Jank? Do you? Who knows? Who is? If we're the big bads, who's the good boys? Who the good boys, right? This guy already had double magnets. Boy, when I was back in the day. All right, let's see what else. Maybe something will do. No, he doesn't, because no one would use him. But I'll use him. But I'll get him. Maybe a new war boss model. Well, could they unlegend Uftak and call him a war boss, and then would that be the new war boss model, or does everybody think our current war boss really needs a new kit? Is it because it's been out of stock so long, and everybody's just like, well, GW's not even trying to sell it, so clearly. So clearly they're doing that, but aren't we the same community that generally would say that GW would try to sell the old model first and then introduce the new one? So wouldn't they give out war bosses in the new kit, and then come out with the new war boss model later in the edition to sell and replace the thing that they offloaded from their stock. Right, so I'm not saying I'm playing devil's advocate, like I said, right? If we're the part of the community that's going to be like, well, maybe we can get these because these are all the new kits. Well, you know, it's about time. Well, I'm going to play the side that says, well, maybe GW plays into that, gives us the old war boss model for free in the new start collecting box or the edition box set, and then we get a new one, but it's only after we've already kind of emptied GW's back stock and they've gotten a return for that. But then, like I said before, there's already been out of stock. So it could be that they're just replenishing everything for it. So both sides are valid. Both sides are valid. Okay, chat's picking up. I don't know if I got to go faster or what. Let's go. Maybe you guys see it. I'm checking the chat and you are. All right. So far, you guys are on the same page. I imagine that's what we're doing right now, Joe. Imagine that all the Orc Legends get all the Orc Legends get refreshed. That may be a bit much, Joe. Hold on, I'll come back to that though. Where's my water? My water. Oh, we're going for an hour already? Oh shoot. Well, at least I hit my goal. Get all the Death Copters down. Get the Elite Infantry down. Really, but my back secondary goal was also get these Commandos down. So we got to do that. Now, he said, it's doubtful they will force us to split the lose and the shoot us. They worked away from WYSIWYG. There'd be an uproar if they went back on all that because they released a mono-post kit. Yep, that's a good point, and that's what I'm hopeful too. But, hey, playing devil's advocate here. Now, I do have some shooter boys, but I don't know if I have the optimal amount to replace all of those. So that's a good point, but I don't know if GW, I don't know if there's enough of an uproar from the Orks from GW if they give us other new stuff and then they kind of slip that in there. You know? Like maybe they think they can win over enough of them. So, and I don't know if Orks are like necessarily the loudest or meanest community that GW would know of. So, yeah, there's a chance that they do both. You're right. There's a chance that they go nope because they're moving away from that already. And that's what I'm definitely hoping, and I think it's more likely that they don't force us to. But there's always that off chance. Sorry, I'm knocking over my own models here. It's funny because I'm covered. There's models everywhere around me, and they're all upside down. So I got to watch my cat because, you know, she'll run up on here and just terrorize Godzilla style and just start messing up. No, I'm just kidding. Very well behaved. Let's see. Maybe new war boss. Am I wrong though? Let me know, chat. Did you guys think I'm crazy when that little fake theory that I went on? Like, is there a chance they would give away the war boss model in the Battle Force box and then, you know, release a new one later? Right? Like, that's not that crazy. I don't think that was a crazy take. And then, you know, a little bit reasonable, if anything. Not trying to be negative either. Just being to the point. Oh, and we have a gifted 10 Waaagh Tactic memberships. Whoa! Shout out to Jay Hoon, as always, my boy. Been here since the beginning, man. Always supporting. Can we get some gases in the chat for that? That's the first support of the night. So thank you very much. And it's a big 10 Waaagh Tactic membership supported. So thank you for that. And, of course, what we're going to do soon is release the after action report to the public. But if you're getting that membership now, put some gases in the chat. And then also check that out and then leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't care if it's hard criticism. I got thick skin. I want to make them better so they're worth everybody's time in watching, observing, and doing. So thank you very much for that, Jay Hume, because that was what we're looking for. And I love my gets. He says, new grots, and I'll forgive them for the current battle. It's like, dang, you want new grots? What would that look like? Maybe I'm biased. Why do I like the current grot kits so much? I feel like it has good flavor. What you gotta tell me more what you think, dude. Why do you want a new grot kit? Do you want like a different looking run herder? Do you not like his belly? Like, what's going on? You know, I'm actually interested in that. Now, maybe I've always since I started, I swear you can ask anyone that I know in the gaming group or that I started with, that I love my grots. I'm just a fan of my grots. Now, that doesn't mean that like I have a bunch of kit bashes. I'm not like super grot fan where people make entire grot armies necessarily for them, right? But I like my grots. I like my grots. So I've always had a lot, and they were like the first things I painted. So maybe that's why I'm a little biased. And I'm like, So, yeah. Oh, guys, let me check the... Did the audio sound, guys? Oh, I got the mic. I sound checked and everything. And Chad didn't say anything about audio. Sorry, guys. I got him a check on that. Yeah, guys didn't say anything about audio. Maybe I was far away. Maybe I was in the beginning. Sorry about that. I don't know. I didn't see that. But yeah, you got to tell me more, Jay. I know you're somewhere in here. You're going to tell me. Where are you saying? Okay. He says, I do love the classic Grots, but they're an old model. I do love the little gits riding on the back of squigs, right? So we need more squigs. Okay, so let's compromise here, Jay. Let's compromise, Git. All right. My squig just jumped. Sorry, freak me out. Let's say we get a herd, right, or like a swarm squig, right? What if the swarm either has like a Grots on it, or Grots controlling it, or Grots riding the swarms, right? If we can integrate both of our ideas into one cool model concept, let's do that. I'm down, right? So we'll energy together, right? Let's do that. So shout out to Jay Hyun. 21 months, guys. The channel I think is only like 26 months, 25 months old, maybe less. Like it's really not that old. So, and we couldn't even get memberships till we had a certain threshold. So Jay Hyun, you've been here since the beginning, you get. So thank you very much, like always. But you gotta still answer what kind of my compromise good, Jay? Was that a good compromise? Was that a good compromise? Let me know. But he's saying he wants a squad of those. So he wants a squad of Grots that are riding some gits. So yeah, let's do that. And thanks to chat for all the gazzes in chat for Jay Hyun. Now let's see what else you get there saying. So what my boy, shout out to Wicked Joe. So Wicked Joe had said, well, what if they refresh all the Legends models? Now, I will always remember the Legend of Joe, right? Because I was with him at Adepticon when he tapped into the Legends potential and he picked up a bunch of Legend models, and then months later, and he knew it could happen, right? But he's a bold git. He's a big git. So he was like, I'm doing it anyways. I want the models. But then GW did turn around and light Wicked Joe on fire. So Wicked Joe did have all those Legend models, so his answer is a little biased. Now, I do want certain models back as well. I really do. And I want, but specifically, like I said, Walkers, Grout Tank, Circular. But I want, sorry, I put in the resin. I want Zagstruck back, right? That's actually who I want back. Now, back in the while ago, like maybe a year ago, we did a short with Zagstruck doing like a battle ladder, and it didn't get good results. That's fine. But there's a reason he was picked first, right? I like Zagstruck. So check that out if it's worth it at all. Maybe it sucked, but we did that, and I did like a Mortal Kombat faction ladder thing where I had Zagstruck battle some certain units to see how far he would get. The idea behind the whole theory was like we do it for all the Ork characters and see what they can fight, like 5 intercessors, whatever, and slowly progressively go higher. And I had him fight like all these Tyranid versions of Tyranids, and he had gotten through like a Hive guard. He got all the way up to a Carnifex, and then he died. So I had a Zagstruck. Now we didn't get all of those put into an actual short, but you know, that was the tier list ladder and some of the battles that were going on. So that was cool. But I'm a Zagstruck fan, and Zagstruck's now a Legends. And if you don't know who Zagstruck is, he's simply a jetpack Ork epic character. That's all. But I really liked the fact that he was fast, he hit hard, and he was big. He had a really cool model, imposing. Another model I liked, lying. Another rule set I liked from a model was the wall banner. So the wall banner, you know, that was really cool, getting an additional wall from that for one unit. Very, very fun in Index Hammer. It was actually slept on, I feel like, for the majority of Index Hammer until we tapped into it on Waaagh. But there's other gits who were starting to do it, but we made it known on here, right? That was pretty sick, being able to pick one unit and call a wall for that for characters. So a lot of times, you're right. We've been talking about just the vehicles that we lost. But what about, you know, everything else? Oh, here's one of my box mega knobs that I did break off the banner because I'm gonna get, like I said, so that'd be happening sometimes. I have the banner still actually though. But yeah, so this is one of my mega knobs, and I do have 3 mega knobs that are just black and they're Goth paint style, and they're the same as Gaz because I have my Gaz painted as a classic, so I have them like as little bodyguards. All right, you can do it. Come on, camera. Don't be scared. All right, there we go. No, there's my mega knob. Like I said, I'm not super good painter, and you know, we did what we could. So, but you know, still use them, still like them. This guy needs to get his magnet out. That's what we were doing here. So, what else could come back that I didn't mention? What else, guys, that I did not mention from Legends? Because I feel like I actually did a pretty decent job off the top of my head. I mean, I'm not gonna say like the Christmas gobble, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really gonna bring him into the game. But what else from that could we actually do? Right? A pain boss on Squigosaur? That's crazy. Pain boss on Squigosaur? Now you're going back to the old school days. I don't know if we're ever going into something that crazy, but I appreciate the suggestion. And I do need knobs. The Pain Boy wasn't crazy then, right? The Pain Boy wasn't crazy. I think you're agreeing with me. And the Lord, no, it's not, America. I'm not reading that. New War Boss, new Weird Boy, and all our legends become characters. No, I just upgraded my Grot Squad. So it's cool. Oh, you want to upgrade so they have keyword grenade? That'd be cool, though. I mean, I feel like that might be too much, though. Pain Boss and Squigosaur. They're also more huggable. That's hilarious. Let's see what else you guys. Thank you for that, Wicked Joe. 3mm magnets. 3mm magnets work best. Yeah, I think these were a little thin, to be fair. But I have a lot of magnets because I was going on a magnets free back in the day, and then I slowed down. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, if you're new, or if you're new, or even intermediate, or you're going, man, on these times when orcs are not at their prime, trust me, do your hobbying now, even on the stuff that you don't think is going to be good right now and not good, and you're not using. Get it done, get it out of the way, get your collection fleshed out, get it in a good state, and then, like I said, rules come and go. And that's going to come back. So trust me, get them going. Like right now, I got burner boys that I'm magnetizing and I'm fixing their bases, right? And they're painted. Hardly ever use burner boys. Hardly ever use my burner boys. Get them ready just like everybody else on my downtime. Because when it's their time, I want to have them ready to go, right? So that's kind of like what this stream is kind of showing you guys. Like, yes, I did immediately work on what I needed done in my cult of speed. And then right there, I just, while I had momentum, while I got you guys here, we got the power of the wall here. I'm just gonna try to hammer out whatever else I can that's right here near me. If we still have enough wall energy, maybe I'll pick up some more stuff. But I don't know if we're gonna be going that long. What else are these guys going for stuff? Yeah, let's see. Let me get, like I said, I need to get these magnet breaker boys that are work in progress. All right. The other unit is done, but I put it on the shelf. I have to magnetize them later. Bro, if they released any of the old tanks in plastic, it would be an instant copped. Exactly. Instantly. For my fellow greenskins that don't know what that means purchased or acquired, copped, or I've taken it from a get, knocked the teeth out. So I looted it, right? So a variety of tongues that we have among here, fellow greenskins. That's what it means to be copped. But yes, I feel the same way, Rick B. Now, let's say we have one chat. I'm gonna make. Oh, should I do this as a poll? Ooh, I don't know. I think I got time for a poll, and there's enough gets here for a poll. All right. Yeah. Oh man. Hold on. Let me write this out real quick because I don't got a lot of space. Oops, I put my big heads right there. Bam. Here I'm back. All right. Let me put a poll out, you guys. Let's see. Let's do a poll for what grot tank. I mean, not grot tank. What orc tank? What orc tank do you want to see? Grot tanks, right? Kill tanks. Are we going to do all of them? A lift to drop? I don't know if we can do all of them. If we do all of the really obscure ones, I feel like then the votes would get scared because people don't even know what they are. So I'm going to do grot tanks, kill tanks, grot mega tank. That was the one that looks like a battleship. We can get one more. What's another one tank? One more tank, chat. Hurry, pick one chat. Whatever I read. The Shinork's not a tank, but that's awesome. I'm gonna put it on there because I'm a fan of the Shinork. So, you got me because that's not shouldn't be an option, but we're putting Shinork in there anyways. Okay, the Chinook, yeah, Chinook. I'm saying Shinork. The Chinook. All right, the Chinook. I remember that. That's sick. If you guys don't know what a Chinook is, before I start the poll, the Chinook is a transport. It's essentially that transports orcs as well. So imagine if you had a flying transporting vehicle. Maybe that won't count because that doesn't count here, but I'm putting it anyways. Let me see. See, legend, and then if I could put another option, guys, I would put other. Let's see what you guys do. But polls up. Let's get it. Let's get it, boys. Get stuck in. Kind of over transports. Well, then there you go. Ooh, Battle Fortress. Oh, that's a good one. Battle Fortress is a good one too. I missed the chat. Sorry. Let's see. I'll come back. Don't worry. Well, we can do another poll. There's enough dudes out here and really narrow it down. So which should be the best? Because I think most people seem to be focused the most as like orc community on orc tanks. Like the fact that we don't have anything that's like equivalent to like some kind of like a tank. If it's not that, then we squigs, some kind of like actual squig variants. But we just went through all the pigs and everything and rigs, so I don't think GW is going to tap into that. So it's like, what version of orc are we going to get? Here, guys, this is my fun part. Oop. Let me. Bam. Now we're back. All right. Now let's see what else. We got a bunch of gases in chat. Yeah. Whoa. I love the classic. Let's see what else you guys are going on. I'm sold. GW, give this man a job. Yeah, he's sold. Let's go. We came to a compromise on the proper new released orc grot kit. Love it. Okay. See, guys, I'm talking to you give so much that I'm not magnetized. Let's go. I got a little faster. I'm almost done. Almost done. Oh, I just dropped it in epoxy. Okay. You guys didn't see that. Don't. I take care of my works. All right. So let's go. We got okay, poll's going. Dang, grot tanks are smoking everybody right now. Oof, I might have to bring out the Battle Fortress to combat this. A Battle Fortress. I seen you, Surge. I seen you. That was a good one. Lift the Droppa is a little too obscure, in my opinion. Lift the Droppa is really sick too. So maybe I put Lift the Droppa and Battle Fortress and the grot tank again. Now, scrap tank. What's a scrap tank necessarily? I don't even know if I've seen the data sheet in Legends, and I did a video on Legends. So unless I somehow missed it, I don't know if that's even a data sheet that we can bring back to life. It's like I think it was like a general data sheet in past editions when you looted something. But like I just had kind of like a little speech about looted things. So like a scrap tank seems like it'd be the same thing. Yeah, we'll see. We'll give it a little bit longer. See if somebody can pull out. Dang. So it looks like right now we got 50% of the votes are grot tanks. Whew. We're gonna have to bring up the okay. We're gonna put looted tanks, lift the Droppa, and Battle Fortress next. All right, and still keep the grot tank, but keep the votes going so we know we got enough participation to do another poll. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna go on, but you guys give me more WAAH energy. The numbers are building. Oh shoot. Okay, I just made not because it's growing. I mean, that's awesome too, but look what I just did. Boom. I just got a magnet epoxy to my Git. So this will take what we like to call surgery. I'm gonna have to take something and peel it off. There we go. See? And I use a little Nahabi knife. I'm gonna try to squeeze you back on there. Get over there. There you get. I did that because I put one on top of the other when I was reaching for them. So, oops. But hey, guys, get a lot done here for the most part. I mean, in my case, I don't know how you guys feel, but I've gotten at least 30 plus infantry and those def copters all magnetized on the stream. So I'm happy about that. Because like I said, I just got this new kit. Got to do it. I got to get these guys all magnetized up more than before. Because before I had them, like I said, in the ready to go box. Let's see what the poll says right now. Look back at it again. I'll give the poll a little more time. A little more time on the poll. Okay, it's only been up for 4 minutes. You shouldn't get so pumped. All right, give it a couple more minutes. All right. Let's see what else we got. I would love it. Make new trash. Kill, crush, wool. They try to get rid of our old boys. Players make a fit. I think we can be loud enough. I have hope we can. I hope, dude, because, you know, we all got a lot of boys. I mean, for example, right, I'm going to use one of my favorite, other favorite factions, Astra Militarum, right? So, Imperial Guard. So, Imperial Guard, from what I understand, they still have their basic old school infantry. Now it is inferior and it sucks and it's weirdly costed, but they do have that, and then they have a bunch of different battle line infantry. Now they are a little bit more niche because their battle line infantry are actually representations of the faction, like within sub factions. Ours aren't that niche. We have our units, like a selectively different units are, right? So commandos reflect, you know, blood axes, and then squigs, snake bites, you know, bully boys, and mega knobs, goths, right? So it's different. That's what makes orcs pretty sick, though, as a faction, right? Each one of our awesome kind of elite infantry units or vehicles can kind of already be identified into something else. So yeah, I mean, like into like its own sub faction and then build army off of it. So that's pretty cool. What's up, chat? So let's see what else chat's saying. Snickra and leading a wall, which is crazy too. All right. I haven't been using my Snickrat as much, but if the point leaks are true and Snickrat comes down to 80 points, I can see Snickrat making his way back onto list again. For 80 points? Yeah, I think Snickrat's making his comeback for 80 points. All right, I'm going to use a little bit more of this epoxy. So I can finish off the little bit of gits I have. So let me put the poll out now so I don't run out of time, because grout tanks are just smoking right now. So let's try this again. All right. We're going to have another poll. All right, guys. You guys want it. We're talking about next edition. And like I said, so I will give some thoughts on the points as well, but I don't. And like I said, I only had one, that little leak that some of us seen. Didn't really find it too impressive or overwhelming, so I don't think it's like worth a whole video or anything like that. Just, you know, grout tanks won currently with 52%. So shout out to the chat for loving their grout tanks. Man, we did imagine Dreadmob with grout tanks was amazing. Ork tanks. Let's see. We're gonna do grout tank again. Grout tank, and then battle fortress. Loot or scrap tanks, and like looted tanks, scrap tanks, battle fortress. Oh, the lifter dropper, yeah, lifter dropper. All right, guys, let's see who wins this one now, huh? Yeah, let's see what's going on now, chat. Now you guys easily picked grout tanks before. All right, I feel like putting my own vote. We'll see. I'll put on a vote later, maybe. Let's see. I'll take anything that hits hard and doesn't multi as a transport. That is very fair. Because that's kind of the issue, right? It's like, but you can say it's an issue. At the same time, that is lore accurate for the most part. I mean, can you imagine any sort of transport other than a biker, maybe, that doesn't have some kind of orc attaching himself to it? Right? Like, can you actually imagine that? Because that's what's happening when they put transport, is because lore-wise, if you're going into battle on a walker or anything that's faster than a boy that's running, which if you haven't seen orc legs, they're probably not that fast, as you can imagine, you know, it makes sense that all the boys in the vicinity of these walkers, as the walkers are moving forward, or tanks or whatever it may be, are going to jump inside of it. So that's why it doubles as transports a lot of the time. That is pretty much just orc like lore accurate. So if it minimized it to like 6 models, right? For example, in past editions, the walkers, the Titanic walkers, before they were Titanic, the Gork and Mork, they were just like what we would call heavy support and such. and those guys could only transport 6 infantry. So in that case, it was very niche elite or like little. That's kind of too much, maybe. Scrappy infantry units. I think I'd like that because it would keep what is lore accurate, which I know we don't always have to be necessarily lore accurate, but for my vehicles, I guess I want to be somewhat, and just limit it to like 5 or 6 transports. Models, or maybe you can even limit the keywords, so maybe it can exclude like a Megnobs, for example, and something like that, if you really want to not have it be too efficient as a transport. So that could be cool too, right? So like the land fortresses for Leagues of Voltan, for example, killy, durable. Now they don't have to be all those things, right? But they're killy and durable, and they transport a small amount of units, and it totally works out fine. So I think that would be cool. I don't think I want to take all the transport capability away, because I can't imagine that vehicle getting there without someone jumping on it, like another greenskin, unless it was flying, right? Unless it was flying, or in the case of the shock jump dragster where it's teleporting. In that case, a Git can't stick onto it. So, but even this buggy, for example, this dude, he didn't look like he ran, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he didn't look like he didn't run to get on here, to be honest. But he was still someone in the vicinity that hopped on. Yeah. So you have another one right here. He's loading, so he's a part of it. But this guy kind of supplementary, right? He's not necessarily doing anything. He just has a little shot off and he's chilling. So that's what I'm trying to say is like, Orks are gonna jump on regardless, right? So those guys are just too fast to get too many Gits jumping on them, and anybody else a part of their clan would more than likely have like a jetpack attached to their back and be a storm boy, because that's how lore works, right? So that's how those models kind of reflect the lore. Oop, I sucked it. All right. Let's see. So far, they're putting up a little bit of a battle, but grout tanks and battle fortresses are guys. For the votes right now, you guys got to get in there, because we're at a draw between grout tanks and battle fortresses, and then scrap jets are just kind of hanging, or scrap tanks are kind of hanging out in the back. So before this ends, you guys got to let me know what's going on. Where are the point leagues? They've just been on social media and random places. Maybe a little bit on our Discord as well. So maybe Facebook or Discord. They've been all over the Facebook groups and Discord. It's like, I don't even like keep it. I think I maybe have a screenshot I can look of it. It was like 20 points on Maz and the Beast Boss on Squigosaur, -3 on the Meganobs, which is weird and dumb. I hope that's 5 points per model, not 3. That would be dumb. So that could be a change. Then there was -10 to the 10-man unit of Flash Kits, -5, I think it was, for the Big Mech with custom force field unit. So like I was saying in the video, the one thing is, like I was saying in the video and talking about, what changes, possible changes and such, and I was talking about each detachment, that kind of just, if the leaks are true or accurate or whatever, that would lean more towards people playing Tactical Brigade. Because it also said the Big Mech with shock attack gun was coming down, I think 5 as well. So if those leaks are true, which I'm not necessarily going to believe they are true or accurate, I have no reason to believe that, and the sources didn't look too really compelling, then that could lean to Orks playing slightly more elite in some ways, but also just playing Tactical Brigade. And then, of course, a couple gets like myself, or shout out to Brandon, another channel moderator, we're like, man, I'll run Maz solo maybe for, 100, hopefully 140 points. I'm hoping it comes down to that. So yeah, I don't know if I'd run. I still don't know if I'd run Maz at 140. Maybe. There's a slight chance in some detachments. Like I have run him in more DACA, because he can re-roll wounds in there. So then it was like he felt really good into monsters and vehicles that didn't have like great saves, like 3-up armor, 4-up influence. He felt really good when I can re-roll wounds when you're on an objective with him. I'll tell you that with more DACA. Because like I said, guys, I play all the stuff. Sometimes I'm really competitive and trying to play the most sweaty list, and sometimes I'm like, I really just feel like using this other thing. And then I do it, and I get my teeth knocked out, or I win some games. People are like, "That's weird, you're using that." That's how I got so many Killican love. How much I got so much Killican love, and actually have reps with them, right? Because I just play everything. Ooh, so let's see. We got. I think I got through all the infantry guys for the most part that I had within reach to get magnetized that I needed to magnetize. So it might be coming to a close here soon. So we got to get these votes in, guys. We got to get these votes in before I end it. Ooh, it's exactly an hour and 30 minutes in, guys. So let's go. Let's get it in. Whoa, let's get it. No, Aspects didn't do any videos on that. I think I might be packing it in for. Oh, nope. I got 2 gets left. I got my old ugly war boss from combat. Saw Black Reach. So we said, oh guys, that I'm not gonna say what's going on in the poll, but that's surprising. All right, let me get some more of these chats going before I get out of here. We'll give it like 5 more minutes, maybe. Let's see. It was 5th edition. He was letting me know. Okay, cool. Would they ever bring back Knob with War Track with the battle cannon ever again? Man, no. I think that's far too niche. Like, you can build lore or like hype behind it, and it seems like for the most part they want to do that, but not everything is that. I just don't think they would do it, right? Like, even you saying that I had, I was gifted War Tracks, and that's actually how I got. Sorry, my War Boss in Mega Armor. He was from like some old edition model, right? Yeah. Where these arms, now if you see, this grot is the thickest grot you've ever seen in his arms, just ripped, right? This is just a ripped grot. That's because this is from past editions arms. So they were on some kind of like War Track with a big shooter, and then I took the Ork Boy body off because he was relatively around the same thickness of what is currently that little grot body, and then I took that grot body off. I want to say it was some kind of buggy, or I forgot exactly where he's from. I think he was the Rugged Trucks Big Buggy, and then I stuck him on here. So even you mentioning that one niche unit, yeah, like, no, because it's so niche, I don't think so. Imperial Guards don't have the basic infantry squad anymore. Oh, they don't? No way. They finally got rid of it. I got rid of my Scions army maybe 6 months ago or more. And I'd gifted all my Ashramel Tarm stuff away to Frank. Shout out to my friend Frank. But yeah, I gifted him my guard models, like my guard tanks and stuff. So I didn't know that. I mean, I know they had them in Index, but I guess they just dropped them out. That sucks. So see, guys, I mean, it's different because they have a multitude of Battle Force boxes. I mean, Combat Patrol, Battle Line, sorry. Battle Line units, so they have a multitude of that. So maybe that's why. And like I said, they represent each of their own specific versions of guard. But still, I mean, that's one example of them getting rid of them and being like, nope, you're gonna use the new one. Now they're not that big of a change for like the war gear, so I'm not sure if that's still an equivalent comparison, right? So just wanted to point that out, that they did it, and that we have to take into consideration. Definitely not hoping they do. But yeah, if they did the points and they brought down, yeah, so I think from what I've seen from points, if I just have to summarize it before we get going, what the poll tied again, 44-44. Come on, guys, get in there. Look at this. See, yeah, Rogue is going 45, then 42-42. It went from 42 to 42, then 44 to 44. In the percentage here, we're getting stuck. We're getting stuck. Come on, guys, get your votes in just so we can get an answer to this. So let's see. But yeah, if the point changes are real, okay, I think I'm done hobbying. So let me put this away. Get my big hat on screen. All right, cool. So if the point changes are true, if it would make Tactical Brigade the most appealing detachment, most likely, in my opinion. Because it's already right there on the cusp, and it just needs maybe 1 or 2 more effective units. 1 more effective unit or 2 small units to try to act as more like scoring or something, right? Because what's happening a lot of the time now is in a good high-level game matchup, people know what to put on the line into a tank busters to draw them out and not have a good trade or have a reliable outcome into that defensive profile. And then, for example, like if you expose a Ballistic Dreadnought, right, or an Onager Doomcrawler, like weird stuff that's going to be taking a relatively good save, good armor save. They're going to have to draw out the tank busters, but they're not good at points. They're not a good trade, and there's a weird chance that you could whiff. They'll put those assets out there. Well, you're not going to really come kill them without getting big points out here, and at that point, the bad trading war cost starts going, or they're able to pop our trucks and disembark them. So we need just a little bit more juice on Tactical Brigade, and I think that's where it's at. From what I've seen from the point changes, because there will be assisting a lot of stuff that is Tactical Brigade centric. Now, what do I want? I put in the video what I want. If you guys haven't seen those earlier, what I would talking about Orks, the big video I did. I think it's like pretty long, but in short, I think you need to take the boys buffs back. I mean, nerfs back, right? -10 to the 20-man unit. That's outrageous, GW. That's outrageous. That's very, very annoying and frustrating. So right off the bat, I need that to go down and to be reverted, and the 10-man Ludas, right? There's other stuff I want too, but those just get out of here. Get out of here with that. Don't need none of that. GW is outrageous. That was all strictly a reaction and freak Twitch response to more DACA. What's up? I would love a new Captain Badrock. Yes, Captain Badrock is actually effective in like lore, active in lore. Still, too. So I mean, he already existed. I mean, really, who would you rather see though? Captain Badrock or Ooftag? Right? I don't know. So that's interesting too. The only reason I say more so is because I don't know if GW is going to focus enough to have multiple characters. Now maybe I'm biased and the Necron hater, but I feel like Necrons only have like one character, 1.5 characters. They have like Trays in the Infinite, and then they have half a Silent King, or like, I mean, he's silent. I can't count him fully. What are you gonna do? Say something to me? No, he can't even count. He's quiet. So yeah, I don't know what the characters have. The Necrons have is like a name character that's also in lore and like flushed out, but yeah, I feel like us having a bunch, having Gaz who actually has books and can speak, Silent King, you can make lore books about them, and I feel like GW might push that. But I'd like to see some Ooftag work, right? And Ooftag work, to be honest, just because I think he's a bit more my style, right? Captain Badrock's more like an opportunist and mercenary, based off lore, which is still really cool, and I appreciate how his presence in the field and what he does and how he interacts with other orcs, because he's intelligent. But Ooftag is also intelligent, and he's also brutal but cunning. So I want to kind of see what's going on with that too. So I'm excited overall for Orks where we should be. Like I said, we'll be coming out the Bully Boys archetype video this Friday. Then we'll move into the Cult of Speed videos and the 1,000 point videos, and then after the action report gets pulled out there, after action report comes out to live fully, then live fully, then we'll know what kind of feedback we get from that. So be sure to let us know what you want to see, so we can either make more of those or get them going, or what else you guys would like to see. So as for the poll, I pulled the plug without looking at the numbers, and it ended with a freaking draw. So it's a Waaagh tanks at 42%, Battle Fortress 42%, Scrap tanks 10%, and Lift to Drop of 5%. Oof. So we've come down to the point that it's Waaagh tanks and Battle Fortresses that are at the top most requested Orc units, which is interesting because Waaagh tanks are, a multitude of models. It's a bunch of little tanks, not necessarily a big one. So if I'm gonna go into this, it's hard because you want to say a Battle Fortress, you just can't realistically see what kind of rules it would have to be good. As such a big point thing, and it's probably going to transport and all this stuff. So because remember, I'm not saying that the Legends data sheet sticks with them, guys. I'm just saying as a model and how it can be implemented in our codex. I'm going to go for, if I have to put in my vote, tiebreaker for now, comments after the video, and I'll leave you guys can feedback on this, but I'm going to vote Battle Fortress for the final result. And if I'm the tiebreaker, that means Battle Fortress for the war as at least one, if not the most, top two most desired Ork tank. So that's what we have this figured. So as for the summary, what mic to come in the 11th edition for the box set? Hopefully, I'm a new Mega Knobs kit. Knobs, I think Bullies might end up in that kit. I think it's going to be kind of Goth Bully Boys centric, Elite Infantry kind of centric. Maybe snip a Big Mac, Uftak, bring him out of Legends and put him in there, possibly. Boy kits, because I think they're a little newer and might get pushed a little more. We're going to move away from anything Snagga related as well. So I think we're going to most likely end up with elite kind of infantry units. And if they give us a war boss and it's not Uftak, it's because they're giving us a normal war boss, not a new war boss, I think, because I think what they would more likely do is empty their stock and then do a new war boss later down the line. And they just did Uftak. But if I'm wrong, a war boss would be very nice for what it is. But in reality, we have old resin Weird Boy, and I think more likely they're going to move towards either the Big Mech, because he's a part of the kit with the Mega Knobs currently, so he would kind of need a new kit as well. So it goes in tandem. So Mega Knobs and Big Mech maybe go together, and then maybe a boy unit because you need a battle line, maybe Grouts, who knows, and then supplement it with maybe 5 knobs, stuff like that, maybe more Coptas. I would really, no one answered in chat necessarily what it is. Oh, is it Imperial Fist? Oh, wait, I think it was Imperial Fist, right? Is it? Oh no, there's Thor Gyrodon. I don't know. Is it Imperial Fist, guys, that are the new ones? Let me know. Maybe we'll talk about it next hobby stream. Gather some info. We got to figure this out. Who are the big Orks going against the big bads? If it's Imperial Fist, that's pretty dope because I have an Imperial Fist army. It's not that good, but I'm a Crump Velrock, right? So that's going to be sick. I want to know more about that, and that would give me some ideas to kind of flow, like what kind of Ork army would it be into Imperial Fist, right? Like when we look at the Catachan Devil book, it's Ork Commandos versus Catachan Devils. That kind of makes sense, right? So I like that. I want to see more of what this is going to do. So with that being said, I want to hear more about what you guys got to say. Thank you for being here for the community stream. So there's only one thing to keep in mind. Is don't cross our wall, because we'll not get Eva.